Recording in progress.
I was going to do another one, but we're just starting to get annoying now.
Yeah, well, 20
Now?
something,
This is
20
where you
something
draw the
episodes
line?
in.
This is
Episode.
sorry,
Welcome everyone to Fran and Carlo Get OCR Adjacent, Season 2, Episode 2. Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. Who'd have
would've
thought? Not me.
Not me. I wonder how many people who listen, and there's not many,
No. 3.
understand that reference.
Everyone.
I hope so.
I think so.
That was a big moment in the history of that show. And
Which show?
Hot Ones.
I didn't ever watch that.
Yes, there's no way you haven't watched that.
What, Hot Ones?
Yeah, that's how you know the reference.
On social, but I've never watched the show.
Really? You don't? Oh, that Paul Rudd one is one of the best ones.
What's it even on? What channel would it be on?
It's on YouTube. It's literally just on YouTube.
I don't watch YouTube shows. I'm not 45.
I was going to say, some of my favorite shows are on. Oh, case in point. It's for the oldies.
Although, you know what? I saw something the other day because people have got this obsession about like getting stuff on TV over YouTube. And I don't think they recognize how incredible YouTube is. And someone was saying, and this was someone who works in traditional television, was saying, you know, the future is YouTube, etc. I guess this is what I always say. If there's no obstacle to entry, people don't want it.
Get it on TikTok while you still can in America. Let's not get into that. So, Season 2, Episode 2, Fran and Carlo, OCR Adjacent. Wanted to start out only because I sometimes do a little dive into the metrics of our show.
What are you taking your glasses off, Clark Kent?
Thank you. I would like to remind people that the OCR Report has a podcast channel on YouTube, and you can subscribe to it. You really can. Like, there's nothing stopping you. I know a lot of you don't watch the YouTube. So I'm talking to the 45-year-olds right now because that seems to be who's out there. So if you're a 45-year-old man or woman and you're like, wait, where do I see you guys on YouTube? Yeah, the OCR Report, not the main OCR Report page, the one with like thousands and thousands of followers. You're not going to find us there. No. We're over on the other hot page that has like 12 followers, and we'd like to have more.
Can I ask you a question about your YouTube habits?
Yes.
Do you watch YouTube on the big internet?
Yeah, on the TV, on my TV?
Well, I was going to say computer, but there we go.
Yeah, although
I think that's the difference. I think it's like the old, and I think of like my brother who's in his late 40s, like who loves YouTube and will spend ages watching because he does it on a computer because like you're used to being on computers, whereas I will watch stuff on like TikTok or Instagram depending whether I'm in the mood for
I couldn't watch. Oh, go ahead.
I do very little on the big internet. Everything is done on my phone.
Yeah, I couldn't watch like a 25-minute like episode of something on my phone. It's just that screen's too small. That would drive me crazy.
Oh, do you know what I do?
What do you do?
So
Fran?
I have a really good flight setup, especially for long haul flights. And one of the things I do is the medium internet.
Oh, there you go.
That's really
good. Now, if I had a tablet, okay, let's take that back one step. If I'm on a flight, then yes, I will watch because that's all I have. And that's also why I usually buy the biggest available phone when I upgrade.
See, I can't because even though I have quite big hands, I can't fit a phone bigger than that in my hand.
But I do feel like I don't know. I feel like if I had a tablet, then I'd be like, I might as well just bring my laptop. But look at us. Technology.
Look at us. They work for different things. Tablets are astoundingly useless.
That's the thing. And I feel like if I got one, I'd start messing with it and be like, this is a waste of money because now I could just go on my laptop and do the same thing or my phone. And
do you know what you can do with it though? Or I do something. So I'll use it for like
throw it at an intruder.
I throw it at intruders.
Yeah.
I use it for when we're doing race coverage and I'll have like decks on there and info and stuff and maps. Yep. But also when I'm working, this is something I just learned because I use a Mac. I can use it as a second screen or as a screen extender.
Oh, that's smart.
It's really good. So that does help.
Way to give away industry secrets. Man.
I'm not sure it's an industry secret.
Now the other media companies are going to come crawling up our backs. But they wouldn't if you guys were subscribed to the OCR Report podcast YouTube channel. It's not that hard. It doesn't cost anything. In fact, if you're listening to us on Spotify, you can what do you do on Spotify? Do you subscribe?
Hmm.
Do that thing where you follow us on
Hmm.
podcast.
Podcast. Maybe we should
It's run
start a
by
new channel called Podcast.
it's run by Spartacus. And there's Apple Podcasts, and there's actually some weird other podcast networks that I don't even know how to say the name of them.
Listen, let's be honest. You use Spotify, and that's it.
I use Apple Podcasts, and that's
because
it.
you're over 45.
No, I just don't like ads.
Hey.
Does Apple Podcasts have no? Oh, you know what? Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I actually pay for Apple Music, so that's probably why I don't get ads.
Yeah. No, podcasts on Spotify that I pay for still have ads. Do podcasts on Apple not have ads, even any of them?
You know what? I only listen to ours, so I don't know. I love when I just say stuff that's probably completely patently false. And then the good thing is no one's listening, so no one's going to call me out.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Plus, people lie on regular television anyway all the time. Have you been following the California wildfire coverage?
Because it's not going to get fact checked. So
that's right. There's so much misinformation going on about the California wildfires and the anyway. Okay. I mean, I care about that. No.
You do care about that. I do.
Oh, yes, of course. Hold on.
Did you ever, this is an English cartoon, so you won't have had it, but I've just seen your little shark guy in the background, and we used to have a cartoon in the UK called Sharky and George. Did you have it?
No.
It was really good. Do you want me to sing you the theme song?
Of course.
It went like this.
Okay.
Sharky and George, crime busters of the sea. Banana, Sharky and George. Don't remember the words. Sharky and George. And that's it. That's all I remember. But now I'm going to have
Crime Busters of the Sea
in my head forever now.
Ooh. Was it like a big shark and like a little shark? Seems like a buddy comedy waiting to happen.
Sounds like a buddy cop comedy, doesn't it? Sharky and George.
Well, let's get started now that we've
pined
for listeners. Let's get started. We're only 20 minutes in, but whatever.
Hey, Fran, so I've had this idea. Yeah, what's up, Carlo? So I was thinking of doing a 20-minute weekly show, just a quick recap of news, maybe a little bit of like us being silly, but just 20 minutes every week. Won't take much of your time. 17 years later.
And that's one episode. We've had some longies too.
There we go. That's Sharky and George.
Oh, I love it. Oh, interesting. That's a odd looking little character, isn't it?
Sharky looks like a tooth.
Yes, he looks like a lot of things. He has this weird little, he uses his dorsal fin to walk, which is odd, but that's okay. But it takes place in the sea.
In the sea, crime busters. Obviously.
So they could technically swim. They don't have to walk.
He's not walking. He's just posing.
Oh, got it. Okay. So
let's do some work.
A little bit of community news. I saw
community news.
TMHQ, Tough Mudder headquarters, if you will, for those uninitiated. They wandered into the Tough Mudder community on Facebook earlier this week.
That's a bit more like the TMHQ we know and love, isn't it?
Yeah, but they asked what I thought was a pretty cool question.
Same.
And they basically said, like, hey guys, if you could be a race director for an Infinity event, what kind of penalties would you assign? Because as you know, the past couple of years with World's Toughest Mudder and Infinity and all the toughest, like some people love the penalties. Some people think they got a little too goofy. Some people, they were like, the distance penalties suck. You're never going to get a consensus on penalties. So Team HQ said, hey, tell us what you think. And as you can imagine, it went swimmingly.
It went loco.
I did like early on, it started kind of funny. There was things like eat a cookie, hug puppies, my personal favorite.
My personal favorite.
And Carolyn Clifford. Do fireball shots, just fun stuff. And then
did it get serious? Did somebody ruin it?
And then Fran, and then the bitching started. It's like someone's like, well, technically HQ hasn't even really blah blah blah. And then of course that just breeds the flames were stoked. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to read any further, and good luck. And we'll see what happens.
This is why people don't play with us anymore. Like I wouldn't, seriously. if I was going into a community group and people were just being mean, and I will do that, and people aren't usually mean, but if they were, I'd just be like, do you know what, guys, you don't get to play. Like, okay, we'll just do stuff. Like, be respectful, and if you have a genuine complaint, make it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. Anyway, so I was
We
hoping
call
this
them
segment.
neggy by
I
the
love
way.
that.
Neggy
I love that. I don't know what we just call them.
Just
Well,
call them neggy.
actually, we have an acronym. I learned it first in my little corporate gig that I've been at for 29 years. But
Have you ever had another job, or has that just been like your main job your whole life?
I was 25 years old. No, 24 years old when I started this job. So it's most of my adult life I've had this. I've been worked for this company. 20, I just hit 29 years. I thought it was 30 years. I was all excited to celebrate. And then when I got back after the new year, I checked my like official stats and it was like, you've been here 29 years and 3 days. So
That's mental.
I've had
It's older
various
than
roles.
Jack.
It is. Yeah. What was
Anyway,
that? I was
so the
actually,
corporate term you learned in your
oh
29
yes,
year and three
it's
day corporate.
an acronym called CAVE people. CAVE, CAVE, which
Let me
stands
guess.
for, okay,
Can't.
nope. I love it. I learned it at
Okay,
a
just tell
training
me. Just
in
tell me.
Nashville, Tennessee. It in 2003, I remember. It's CAVE people are it's an acronym for Citizens Against Virtually Everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It doesn't matter what you offer them or what you provide them or any of that. They're just going to be like,
No, 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 no.
hmm, right?
Mm.
Like, Tough Mudder could be like, hey guys, good news. If you fail Funky Monkey and do the penalty, you get $50. And people will be like, oh, can't afford to pay the athletes, but you're giving us $50. Nice job. So it's just like, yeah, the cave people,
Yeah.
they exist.
They actually make it easier to make decisions because if you're aware that people are going to hate everything you do, you just do what you think is the best thing.
Exactly.
Have you ever
And I
heard the
think
one? Have you ever heard NIMBY?
yeah. Oh, not in my backyard.
Yeah, I was hoping that
Yeah.
was a UK one that I could share with you. I like
No,
NIMBY.
but I live in a little neighborhood and there's little community Facebook groups and you see that all the time.
NIMBYs.
Here's a classic example. There is a where the house is where my ex-wife lives, which I still co-own with her. Across the street is a school, elementary school that they closed down a couple of years ago, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, we need like housing for the homeless in Sonoma County," and people are like, a lot of people come in the comments like, "Oh, well, we've got that like a school they shut down. Why don't they just convert that into a homeless shelter?"
No, 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 no.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, the guy from across town is saying that. The people who live across the street are probably like, um, um, hold on. Just, easy to say, like, let's put it way over there where it doesn't affect me whatsoever. You know what I
So,
mean?
so they would be NIMBYs,
Yeah, exactly.
which is kind
So
of also fair though, because
yeah.
why would I want that in my backyard? I mean, anything. Why would I want anything in my backyard? I don't. I
Yeah.
just want my backyard.
I want my dog in my backyard. Oh, I'm still working on that dog.
Oh,
If I get that dog, if I get that dog that I've put an application for, we're gonna have a whole episode probably dedicated to that dog. It's gonna be sitting on my lap the whole time we're recording.
like this.
Yep. Yep. I'm
Is
not
it the
even gonna
same
talk.
breed? You're just a fan of that
Oh yeah.
breed.
I'm pretty
How are
much,
you?
yeah, I'm going full on. Until I'm too old and have to get a little dog, I'm going pity the whole time.
What do you like so much about pitties?
Their face, their big giant blockheads and their big smile and their giant tongue. And they just want to be like
That's how I feel about Dustin.
at you. Aw, that's sweet.
Big giant head.
So that was my gripe about the community segment. Now, Fran, let's get into the real meat of the episode. The reason why I put their logo on the thumbnail for this episode. Today, by the time this airs, actually, it's partially over, but that's okay. You guys can still watch it.
Pretty much, yeah, over, but lives forever on YouTube.
Today and tomorrow is the Mettle Game. Metal! Not that kind of metal.
Oh, wait.
Mettle. The Mettle Games. Not like it's made of metal, but like you've got
made of metal.
it's your metal.
Your metally.
Your substance.
Grr.
What makes you strong and impossible to crack and things. Stuff like that. The Mettle Games
I'm very easy
in
to
Kuwait.
Just look at me the wrong way and I'm like, crumble.
Just be slightly negative towards Fran and she will crumble.
She will.
Just be like this. Hey, Fran. Huh. You wore that today, huh? See? That's all it takes. Now she's sad. Sorry,
But
Fran.
look, it's Mammoth Mountain.
It is. And I love your hair thing that you got going on. Looks really
It's a
nice.
Spartan t-shirt that I'm wrapped around wet hair.
And I never get tired of you having a microphone attached to a boba straw. Then she ate it. Fantastic.
It sounds
The
really
Mettle
good.
Games,
Sorry.
January 17th, January 18th. The OCR report, some of us, not all of us, are there recording it live streaming. Friday is the 10K. Saturday is the 5K, and there's a team competition in there somewhere too. I don't know exactly when.
I'm sure there will be more information prior to this shared on Instagram about how and when to watch it.
That's right. It won't matter now because by the time this comes out, it'll be yesterday.
Yeah, but if you want to watch
it,
go to YouTube and catch up on it. I'm sure that
yep,
Ryan or Thomas or Sergey or Leon or VJ did really well.
yeah. I agree. And I think I don't know, it seems like kind of a fun event, right? You got the 10K and you got the 5K. What I think is neat, I was looking over the course map yesterday, and they basically have each of the distances, they're broken into like four, the obstacles are broken into four sections, right? They've got the fast section, the heavy section, the tactical section, and the endurance section. The fast section, from what I read, is basically a bunch, like a lot of walls.
Mm-hmm.
The heavy section is a lot of carries. The tactical section, I don't remember what tactical section is. Do you?
It is tactical is actually more like technical.
Oh yeah,
Like
it's
upper
beaters,
body.
monkey bars, zigzag, metal carry.
Zigzag O-ring. That sounds
Sounds like something I replaced on my Honda years ago.
it
Oh,
sounds
bro,
like
I gotta replace the zigzag O-ring.
it
Go ahead.
sounds like it's
The
not
Z-wall?
pendulum. Is it pendulum? Ricochet. It sounds like ricochet.
Ricochet. Pa-pew,
You know the one from
pew.
OCRWC that's like that
Yeah,
with the
I do.
boards and you kick off.
I know
Better
all of them.
not be.
And then you kick off. Well, I definitely feel like they've borrowed obstacles because I mean, Twister is there. There's a few that I've heard.
There's a
right?
few names that I'm a little bit like, I'm not sure.
Like, isn't beater a Spartan omelet? Or
It is a Spartan omelet, yeah.
my brain went to like, ooh, breakfast. Like, I haven't eaten yet, so I can't wait for a Spartan omelet.
I love Spartan omelets.
It comes with, I don't know. That's funny.
I don't eat
Kettlebell.
omelets.
Anyway, that's the Mettle Games. I'm excited that you guys I really am genuinely excited for you guys to get to be there. Hopefully you guys check out the that'll be on the main YouTube OCR Report YouTube page. The coverage there. You're gonna have Will Hicks and Fran on the microphones. You're gonna have Jason.
Did you forget my name?
No, I just didn't feel like pronouncing it.
Okay.
Plus, you're right here. Kirando.
Close.
Kirando. It's not Kirando.
It is Kirando.
God dang it. I was giving it too much oomph.
You were giving it way too much oomph.
But babes, you deserve all the oomph you can get.
Tell me that.
What? I just did. I literally just told you that. Really quick, while I'm thinking of it.
Yeah.
As we discussed last week, and I don't think he watched at all.
No.
Jack Goras. As we said last week, for this year, this season, we're going to announce in the previous episode how much time Jack gets for the following week. Last week, you said 28 seconds. So please enjoy the Jack Goras 28-second worldwide weather report. Take it away, Jack.
On today's weather report, we're going to discuss humidity and what happens with humidity. So basically, humidity is water in the air. And when there's water in the air, there's water everywhere. You know, that's just one thing you can say. When you say water is everywhere, that means you're probably surrounded by a literal ocean, okay? If it's so hot and humid around the city.
He has no idea.
No, he doesn't have an idea about anything.
No. How about this, Fran?
Yeah, how about this?
Do we have more about the Mettle Games? Do you have anything you want to say since I've been kind of commandeering this whole thing?
Not really. I'm excited to go.
Yep.
I'm excited to. I'm going to be working with some good friends.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that, to hang out with some
Good
people.
friends
I'm
and great
excited to see.
oldies. Sorry.
Excited to see the athletes, and I'm looking forward to exploring a new country.
Predict something for me.
Yeah.
In the 10K pro race, tell me how you think VJ Jones is going to finish.
Just VJ? Why just VJ?
Because he's returning from like a quasi-retirement.
Yeah, so
he's not someone who falls out of shape, but it's been a while since he's been on the horse.
I think it's been a while, and I think I saw a post from a wee while back saying getting back into fitness is really hard. But then again, what his idea of fitness is and losing it is very different to mine. It's very
you and I
difficult to
falling out
predict
of
with him
fitness.
because I've seen very, very little of him lately, and so I don't know how he is performing. We know that he is an exceptional athlete, but we don't know what's been going on. We don't know if he's been injured, if he's been training that much, he's been hanging out with Jack, so that's not good.
That's a good point. Not to mention that saps your energy, the level of which you do not understand.
Are you asking me to make a wild prediction before I've even got there?
100%. That's what these kind of things are for. Guys get paid millions of dollars to do that on TV. By the way, you'll be doing that again later on in the show, but not about OCR. Little did you know. And the faster you answer, the faster we can get to that part of the show and get you on your airplane.
Thomas Van Tonder, Ryan Atkins, BJ Jones.
Oh, I was just asking where
I'm just giving
BJ
you
was going to. That's even better. Let's go.
So it's Thomas a wild claim. It's a wild claim, but we're going with it.
But you know what, though? We'd call that over here, we call it a hot take. And they're dumb.
Oh, no, Sergey is there. Oh, no.
Oh, I'm going to tell Sergey you have zero faith.
No, I have so much faith in him.
Is our favorite 40-year-old guy from Switzerland? I don't think so. I think I saw him like climbing a mountain or something. He's not
real sad about that. I like him a lot.
Yeah. Why can't I think of his name? It's
Manuel Defoe.
Gosh.
Manu.
That dude. I would say that guy's life goals, but like he's 40 something and super fit. He's got like 9 kids, all like under 10, and I'm like, ooh, that's exhausting.
Yeah, I look at these people and I'm like,
but he has
life goals, but then I just know myself to know I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
Oh no, I made a wild claim on the top 3 without the full information, and now I'm being put on the spot. No, it's not okay.
You're not. I can cut it out too.
No, I need to be right.
Oh, look at you. That's what there. I love it when you speak the truth. You know what, Fran? The Mettle Games coming to us this weekend.
Sergey in first.
You already said that.
No, I didn't. I said Thomas in first.
I wasn't listening. Thomas in first. Thomas.
Sergey in first.
Sergey in first. Okay. This is the longest prediction segment that I didn't intend to have in the first place.
You can cut it all out if you want, because no one cares. No one's listening.
Yeah, I might do that. Because I don't want you to be upset. So there you have it. Oh, I should say, oh boy, here we go. Ready?
Yeah, but if I'm right and it's been cut out, I'll be so disappointed that it was cut out.
That's a good point. Well, it's
interesting
a double-edged
to see.
sword.
It's interesting to see Ryan competing in January when in November he apparently injured himself so badly that he wouldn't be running for 6 months.
Look, lots of medical experts told us that he seriously hurt his ankle. And by medical experts, I mean
I'm such a bad person.
Anyway,
right, let's carry on and I'll stop being a little, you know what.
Okay, how about Posso accarezzare il tuo cone?
Say that again, please, babe.
No, I barely said it once.
Say it slower.
I can't say it slower. I wrote it out phonetically, and even then I can't say it. Posso accarezzare il tuo cone. That's supposed to be Italian for "Can I pet your dog?"
Okay.
Remember, we're supposed to learn a new phrase every week. It's a new segment, by the way, guys, where I learn a phrase in Italian and Fran learns a phrase in whatever she wants.
I'll give you a top tip for European languages.
Yeah, please.
Keep your A's short. So it's not curando.
Curando.
Curander.
Aka, Akarizare, Aka. It's Accarezzare. Akarizare.
Accarezz. What?
Yeah, you almost had all of it. It's one word. It's
Accarezzet. Yeah.
Accarezzet.
Think how you say
I
pizza.
have it as Accarezzara.
Spell it out for
Accarezzare.
me.
Accarezzare.
Zzare. Wow, that's a long word.
Yeah.
Accarezzare.
I put that into Google Translate and I was like, I shouldn't do
Accarezzare
this phrase.
is how I would say it.
Accarezzare.
I don't know because
Posso accarezzare il tuo cane. But he says it's so.
Posso accarezzare il tuo cane.
They say it so fast, and I was like, no,
Posso
slow down.
accarezzare il tuo cane?
Yeah. Now that means, can I pet your dog? But it's not like they didn't really say pet, so it kind of came up as,
what's
can I
really
stroke
difficult
your dog?
with using like Google Translate is getting the words in the right kind of order.
Yeah.
Or saying using the right words, because we have loads of words in English and other countries have fewer words.
I think I'm gonna start with a shorter phrase. Like I should have started with like good dog. It's just gone from there.
Well, my sentence was less adventurous.
That's okay.
Okay.
We are who we
ready
are.
For this?
Yes.
Let me find it. It's on my computer.
What language is it in?
Or how about you guess?
I'm just a silly American.
Okay.
Everything sounds French and or Italian. Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
Ce week-end, le OCR Report est au Mettle Games au Kuwait. Regardez-les sur YouTube.
That sounded French.
It was French.
Okay. And you said something about watching the Mettle Games on the OCR Report YouTube channel.
This weekend, the OCR Report is at the Mettle Games in Kuwait. Watch it on YouTube.
That was way more adventurous than what I chose.
Yeah, but most of my words, like YouTube, OCR Report, even though it was l'OCR Report, and Mettle Games didn't have to be translated.
Okay.
And you had like Accarezzare. You taught me a new word. Accarezzare. That's a big word.
Yeah. That was like, it's kind of like when you're watching, if you go to a hotel in a foreign land and you're watching TV and they get to the point where they're talking about each other's names and it'll be like, blah, 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 Fran, blah, 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 Lake Tahoe, blah, 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 and I'm like, what? Whoa, I understood that word. He's talking about Lake Tahoe. But everything else, I'm like,
Tahoe. It's always
does he like it? Does he not like it? No one knows.
No one knows. What I really enjoy is how many English words are now going back into French and Italian. And they just get said just with an accent and they're just being adopted.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I also love when you hear people of that language speak colloquially. So like my new favorite one in French is dac, which is short for d'accord, which is like okay, but just dac.
Dakar? Isn't that a cologne? Oh, that's Drakkar. Isn't that also a car race?
That's Dakar.
Dakar.
This is Dakar.
Dakar. Oh,
Dakar.
see, you get too much and By the way, amazing episode. Amazing.
It's the worst.
I'm so glad I got up early for this and you stayed up late for this. Crushing. And you know what's great? I'd be like, man, our numbers are down. Our numbers are down. I don't get it. And I'd be like, have you thought about actually having interesting content?
I think we're really interesting.
I really enjoyed, dude. I was cracking up last week when I was editing our episode. I thought we had some really funny moments.
I thought so too. And do you know what I want from a podcast?
Just fun.
I want no adverts.
Yep.
I want okay voices. So just, good sounds. Mm-hmm. And that's it, really. I don't really give a crap about the content because I don't listen to them. And aside from the fact that our audio is terrible, mainly probably because I record in my giant echoey kitchen with a lav mic attached to a straw.
A boba straw, by the way, though. It's a hefty straw.
Aside from that, we're pretty good.
I've got this amazing giant microphone that I got from like Best Buy like 4 years ago.
Oh, so I have an update.
On?
You remember last
Just
week you asked me about my favorite teacher?
yes, I do.
And I
Okay.
said I mentioned a teacher called Mr. Pownell.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And
We were unsure if he was alive, right?
one of my childhood friends from primary school listened to the episode and
Oh,
messaged me and said, "Guess what? Mr. Pownell, alive and kicking and doing
alive
well.
and kicking.
He's doing well."
That's awesome. I
So,
love to
yeah,
hear that.
he probably still thinks I struggle with glue.
That's one of my favorite phrases that you've ever said. And you've said some pretty funny things.
Thanks.
Fran struggles with glue. That should be on a t-shirt. Or
Maybe
a
we
bumper
should
sticker.
get Caitlin to make t-shirts for all of us with
Or
just something.
a bumper sticker or something. Fran struggles with glue. I love that.
Mhm.
Well, now
That's
I
me.
realized how close my thoughts on things for this week is compared to last week. Although we could take it different ways.
Okay,
But are we there already? Are we already at the thoughts on things?
let's do thoughts on things.
Let's do thoughts on things. I had so one is a question, and then we're gonna do a speed round, and you're gonna know nothing about what I'm talking about, but you're gonna make some bold predictions anyway.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
That a girl. So first off, I love your what would that be? A jacket, a coat? It's very comfortable.
A throat.
Throat. It's very
That's
it's very
a joke from Wicked. Yeah, it's cozy.
fleecy
It's
and
like a
it looks
fluffy flannel.
it looks
Have you
like it.
seen
Looks-
Wicked yet, by the way?
I have not.
It's
I did go to um a children's play, well, community theater play last Friday where they did have like a Wicked Witch though.
no, but it doesn't have Jonathan Bailey, so
No, it did not. And it doesn't have Greta Thunberg in it either. No, not Greta Thunberg. Who's the
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They're so close. They're so
They're both tiny.
What the heck just happened? Greta Thunberg.
Um,
Completely different people. One
Yeah.
is much angrier than the other.
Yeah, Ariana's
But,
really got a temper on
Doesn't she though?
her.
Them little ones, you gotta watch out for them. They're spicy.
That
All
I've
right.
heard.
So, Fran,
Early.
I guess teachers aside, my thoughts on thing question for you. Thoughts on things.
Thoughts on
Ba-da-ba-da,
things.
Thoughts on things.
Thoughts on things.
Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Had to have the new
song.
theme song that I just made up. This is the section where we talk about thoughts on things. Today, Carlo will be asking Fran the following question. Who was a person who had a profound, let's say negative
Positive
or
or negative?
positive impact on your life? You can go either way. Who was a person who had a profound positive or negative impact on your life?
Are we
We can go
talking
as
any
happy-
age?
Yes, absolutely. Just on Fran's life and all of her 32 years on the planet.
Do you know what? I was going to go Neggy Nora, but I don't want to because that's not what I want to talk about.
Yeah. Let's keep it positive. We got enough Negi Nora stuff going on.
10 years ago this year, I took part in the first thing on TV that I did.
2015.
And there was it was filmed very remotely and we never saw anyone. And then one day this woman turned up and, you know, I hadn't got washed for like 3 weeks and she was there wearing like a super tight dress and high heels and she looked very fancy. And I was like, weird, but okay. And was, you know, very polite and nice to her. And it turned out she was the CEO of the broadcaster of the channel who had commissioned the show.
Yeah.
And she just really liked me. And that's how I started doing what I do. She hired me because she just took to me. Like it wasn't that she was much older than me or anything. We were reasonably
Right.
similar in age. But she was just, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was really cool. And she had a massive impact on my life because she hired me for several years. And I
Yeah.
got to do loads of cool stuff because of her. And she was a good advocate for me.
Do we not get to know her name?
Yeah.
Are we keeping it on the down low?
No, it was Mariam Zamari.
And is she still in the industry as far as you know?
She is no longer in the industry.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So she kind of opened some doors for you a little bit, or helped
She
get
opened
you.
every single door for me.
See, I try to explain to my children sometimes. I know it's cliche to say it's not what you know, it's who you know. But man, the who you know is so the relationships you make, the
Do you
right,
want
the
to
connections.
know a hilarious story about why I got like further into the story as to why I got hired and started
Yeah,
doing what I
of
did? And you'll
course.
find this funny. So it was a Dutch channel
Okay.
and a Dutch production company. And you know, I like the Dutch, but they're very different to the Brits and very different to the Americans.
The Dutch are the ones that are very straightforward.
The very straightforward ones.
Like they sound like they're insulting you, but they're just actually just being Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave me a nickname,
Oh
which
boy.
was, you'll be surprised,
I'm already
Friendly Francesca. And they just thought I was so nice. That's why
were
they
they
hired me,
oh
because
they
they
did it
thought I
like that.
was
They
so
meant that
nice.
genuinely?
Yeah,
They weren't like
genuinely
doing
thought I
it
was
as in like
no.
calling a tall person shorty.
But thanks. Now I
Wow.
know how you feel about me.
No.
So after
No.
it was about a year and a half after they hired me, and we went for lunch. Like I'd go over to Amsterdam every now and again, just meet up. And it wasn't with Mariam, it was with Mary Line, who was part of like her second in command. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
correct. Maybe they were, they were both at the top of the company.
Yeah.
And we were just driving, and she was like, "Do you know like the story behind why we hired you?" And I was like, "No." And she was telling me, and she's like, "So on the first day when we arrived to filming, and we'd arrived on like a minibus from Budapest, and we'd been driving for a couple of hours, and she's like, we arrived where we were going to be living for the next couple of weeks, and everyone got off the minibus. And bear in mind, this was a competition where we were working against each other to kick them out. And she's like, and you were the last one to get off the minibus and check that everyone was okay and everyone had everything, and then you got off. And we were like, we like her.
Look at that.
I was like,
See
oh, so it's not only who you know, it's being, sometimes
how
being all right can help.
you treat
And
people.
that's funny because you obviously think I'm not all right. So.
That is not true. You know what it is? I follow your lead. So if you're like, I'm Prickly Fran, then I make Prickly Fran jokes because I know
It's
you're
okay,
comfortable
babe.
with that. I know. So are we good? Oh, did you just have a drone fly over your house?
I don't know. I just heard something, but the microphone makes it weird. How about you? Who has had
Yes.
an impact on your life, be it negative or positive?
You know what? I was thinking about going negative as well, but since you're going positive, I'll go positive because come on,
We
let's
don't want to
focus
give the
on the positive.
negative people the attention.
That's right. Well, the negative person in my case is dead, so it wouldn't matter. Yeah, take that, mom. Anyway, oh no, just kidding. So I had a coworker for a long time. Again, I've been at my job 29 years. And about 4 or 5 years in, with the position that I had to work kind of as a liaison. I was on a training team, and I had to work as a liaison with a particularly surly engineer. Really good, really bright. Like people absolutely respected the guy, but just for whatever reason, he was a big dude. He was kind of gruff, and for whatever reason, he and I actually got along well. And I'd kind of like crack little jokes at him. And I don't know. I think maybe because most people didn't do that, they were kind of like, oh, we don't want to piss Ray off. That maybe he like liked that. Well, clearly he liked that. And so we kind of developed this kind of fun working relationship. And he was kind of like, dude, like, have you ever thought about like being in engineering? Because at this point I was just still in manufacturing doing training and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I've thought about it, but I don't have the education that I need for it and the whatever. And he's like, dude, I'm telling you, take a couple classes like this, and like, wait for something to open up. You never know. And I was like, and he was like a big advocate that I like, kind of pointed out like classes I should take at the local junior college and whatever. And I was like, oh, and at that point I was like, I was looking for a way to either get up or out of that company, go somewhere else. So I did for about a year. I took some of these classes he recommended and stuff. And then this job opened up, this engineering job that I was not going to apply for at all because I simply did not qualify for it. In my opinion, I did not meet the requirements. And after about a week or so of it being open, I kind of passed him one day on the way out. I was going in because I worked nights. He was coming out. And he's like, dude, why haven't you applied for that engineering job? And I was like, oh, I don't even qualify for it remotely. And he's like, I mean, you kind of do though. He's like, don't worry about the qualifications of it. He's like, look at, he started pointing these things out. He's like, dude, I don't know why you wouldn't apply for it. I think it's stupid. He's a very direct guy. And I was like, all right. And I remember I went in that night and I filled it out. And I had, back then I had to like put it on paper and give it to my boss because he had to know that I was, and even he was kind of like, I'm not sure that you're qualified for this position. And I said, I kind of agree with you, but Ray recommended that I do it. And he was like, okay. And we submitted it and I got the job. And actually that guy Ray became my boss. And it honestly, the increase in pay from where I was versus that position, like changed my life overnight. Like literally, like my wife and I at the time, then we went like, oh my gosh, we can now start putting money away and like get a house. And yeah. So as much as people didn't like that guy, for whatever reason, he and I hit it off and he had a massive impact.
It's also, that's down to being who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you'd not got on with him and he was probably more like, because I was gonna say you've not worked in a lot of places. You've worked a long time.
Yes.
Getting on with the people that you work with is massively important. And I really
100%.
do think a huge part of jobs, there are some jobs where obviously you really have to know the subject, but there are unteachable skills, which is what you should look for when you're hiring. And compatibility, if you're going to, is a huge part of unteachable skills.
I agree. So anyway, that's my Ray Lewandowski story.
That's cute.
I don't know where he's at these days. I know he's still kicking, but I think he may have left the area. He left us a few years after that, but
that's cute. I'm glad he advocated for you.
Me too. I'm grateful for him, even though he probably doesn't even realize it. Fran.
Yeah.
One more thing, and then
is this a quick fire round?
This quick fire round. I know you've been following this closely, Fran, but we are knee deep in the NFL, American football playoffs here in the States.
Okay.
And Fran Carlo, our listeners need to know who's going to win this coming weekend. So on Saturday, Fran, who's going to win between the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs?
Chiefs.
You're right. Who's going to win between the Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions?
Lions.
Yeah, I think you're right. Who's going to win on Sunday between the Los Angeles Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles?
Do you know what? I don't want to keep going for the second option, but the Eagles, clearly.
I hope you're wrong, but they're probably going to win. You're right. And who's going to win between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills?
Ravens.
Ooh, an upset. Nice. There you go, folks. Book it. Call your local online
Come back on Tuesday with the results, and I want to do this every weekend.
Yes. Well, we're running out of weekends because the season only has like a few more weeks, but because like there's only 8 teams left out of 32.
Okay.
But it's okay. We can do it for the next few weeks, though, for sure.
Okay, let me know how I did. Text me.
I will definitely. I have to write down. I didn't write down who you predicted, actually, but I know you took all the favorites except for the one, so that's good. And by the way,
well done me.
I don't know if it's the same in European sports, but when you see teams listed like that, like for a game, the second team on the list is always the home team. If that matters in your decision.
The first team on the list is the home team, but I don't know.
That would make sense, right? But that's not how it is in America. And it's okay. We're going backwards at a record pace. So why not have that backwards?
Let's not.
No, that's not. Well, Fran.
Well,
I mean, we touched on everything on my notes. How about you?
Definitely touched me.
That's what makes us a good team.
Yep.
Ample touching. Hey, Fran. Have a safe trip. This was fun.
See you next Tuesday when I've been like really far away.
Do you know what you just secretly said a bad word?
It's not a bad word that much in the UK. I mean, you wouldn't use it at work,
but you know what I mean.
Might do.
But as a kid, when you can't say that word, you would say, "See you next Tuesday."
So do you want to know?
And the other kid would know. I love how we're just about to wrap, and there were people are like, "I'm going to turn it off." Oh my God, what are they talking about now? What's funny? Tell me quick.
I didn't hear that word until I was like 17, I didn't know that word existed, and I actually heard it for the first time in my English language A-level class. We were
Did you
talking
meet?
about
Did
what?
you
No,
have
no,
an
we
Australian exchange student?
no, the teacher brought it up. We were talking about like words and stuff.
I
It
love
was
that your
in
teacher
English.
brought that up in class. That's
And I
fantastic.
was like, never heard this word. So it really genuinely means nothing to me as a word because it has zero. The first time I heard it was at school and I was 17.
Wow, that's crazy. I
Nothing.
don't remember when I first heard it, but I just remember it being it being like I remember when adults said it, other adults would be like, "Oh."
I don't say it
Like
because
when
I know it genuinely insults people.
yeah,
Like
but not Australians.
no, but like Americans, it genuinely insults them.
Well, so does like
Everything.
yeah, nowadays just saying you like, I don't know, free breakfast for children at school, that insults people.
Oof, hard.
Oh yeah, just keep giving them handouts.
Hey,
Oh my gosh. Hey Fran,
Carlo, this was fun.
let's let's do it again next week.
Okay.
Okay,
Jack
bye.
gets,
Oh.
37 seconds.
37. Ooh, good thinking.
Thank you.
37 seconds. Bye.
Bye.